Chosen one, stop right here. Do not move past this message. Heaven did not let this find you by accident. For the next 42 hours, God is asking you to rely on one source, one flow, one kind of water that does not come from the world. You have been drinking from places that left your spirit dry, and now your body is showing the weight. Listen closely. This is not about fear. This is not about panic. This is not about some strange command that harms your body. God is not calling you into confusion. He is calling you back into life. The words, "drink this," carry a deeper meaning, because your soul has been thirsty for something that noise can never give you. You know what I am talking about. Your body has felt older than your actual years. Your eyes feel tired before the day even begins. Your shoulders carry a heaviness that sleep does not remove. And even when you rest, something inside you still feels like it has been awake for a very long time. There is a version of you that remembers brightness. You remember when your mind moved faster. You remember when signs felt clear. You remember when your spirit could sense a shift before anyone said a word. But lately, it feels like that younger, sharper, more alive version of you has been buried under pressure. Chosen one, this is why you had to hear this now. The next 42 hours are not random. Heaven is putting a boundary around your attention. God is not asking you to drink fear again. He is not asking you to drink the opinions of people who never understood your calling. He is not asking you to drink the poison of yesterday. He is asking you to change the source. That is the first key. Before a life is renewed, the source must be changed. Before strength returns, the soul must stop feeding from what drains it. And before your inner age is renewed, you must stop letting old pain become your daily water. You have been strong for too long. You kept smiling when your spirit was tired. You answered people kindly while your own heart was breaking. You carried rooms that never carried you back. And because you were chosen, you thought endurance meant drinking whatever life handed you without complaint. But listen to me. Endurance is not the same as agreement. Just because you survived the cup does not mean God wanted you to keep drinking from it. Some things were only meant to reveal what was toxic. They were never meant to become your identity, your rhythm, or your daily bread. This is why your body has been speaking. The sudden tiredness is not meaningless. The heaviness in your chest is not random. The strange waking in the night is not just a broken sleep pattern. Your spirit has been trying to tell you that the source you were living from can no longer sustain the assignment you carry. You wake up, and the day already feels heavy. You pick up your phone, and the noise starts pouring in. Someone needs you. Someone judges you. Someone expects you to be strong again. And before you have even given God your first breath, the world has already offered you another cup. That cup may look normal. It may look like worry. It may look like responsibility. It may look like checking one more message, answering one more demand, replaying one more hurt, or imagining one more disaster before it even arrives. But your spirit knows the taste. It leaves you dry. This is not who you are. You are not a dried-out vessel. You are not an old soul because life defeated you. You are not fading because heaven forgot you. You are a chosen vessel that has been pouring out without being refilled, and God is interrupting the cycle before it steals another season. For 42 hours, heaven is asking for your attention, not your performance, not your panic, not your perfect prayer voice. Your attention. Because where your attention drinks, your spirit follows, and where your spirit follows, your body begins to carry the evidence of that source. God is not renewing your age by making you pretend nothing happened. He is renewing you by separating your inner life from the waters that aged it. Every betrayal you replayed became a cup. Every fear you rehearsed became a cup. Every insult you swallowed became a cup. And heaven is saying, enough. Take a slow breath. Let your shoulders drop. You have been holding more than you were asked to hold. Some of the weight on you is not assignment. It is residue. Some of the tiredness in you is not calling. It is contamination from rooms you were never meant to keep entering. It did not die. It got buried. It got covered by noise, disappointment, overgiving, and the constant need to brace for impact. The childlike wonder in you did not vanish. The clean discernment did not disappear. The fire did not leave. It has been waiting beneath the dust. That is why the phrase age renewing matters. It is not a cheap promise about your mirror. It is not a worldly obsession with looking younger. It is heaven speaking to the part of you that became tired too early, guarded too early, silent too early, and suspicious of hope too early. There is an inner youth that belongs to your spirit. It is not foolish. It is not naive. It is the holy freshness that lets you believe again without being blind, love again without losing yourself, and move again without dragging every wound behind you. For the next 42 hours, God is calling that part of you forward. He is not asking you to become who you were before pain. He is asking you to become who you were meant to become, after wisdom, after fire, after survival, after every false cup failed to satisfy you. Now stay with me, because the command is deeper than water. When heaven says drink this, it is also saying receive this, feed on this, return to this. Let this enter your inner world until the old taste of fear no longer controls your mouth, your thoughts, or your decisions. Some of you have been drinking accusation. You wake up and accuse yourself before anyone else can. You say you are behind. You say you missed it. You say you are too late. And that inner voice has been aging your spirit faster than any battle outside you ever could. But heaven is not mocking your thirst. God is not angry that you are dry. He is not standing far away with folded arms. He is bringing you to the well again, and this time, He is teaching you to recognize the difference between water that looks available and water that gives life. If this is already touching something deep, type, I receive renewal. Not because a comment saves you, not because words on a screen are magic, but because your agreement matters, and sometimes your spirit needs to hear your own mouth. Stop defending the old dryness. Type it slowly if you can. I receive renewal. Let that sentence interrupt the old pattern. Let it stand against the voice that said nothing would change. Let it become the first drop of agreement before the next 42 hours begin to separate you from what has been draining you. And do not miss what I am about to say next. Before I reveal what God is really asking you to drink, you must understand why your soul became this thirsty in the first place. Because if you do not recognize the source of the dryness, you will return to the same cup and call it normal. Chosen one, stay with me now. The dryness did not begin today. It began quietly, one cup at a time, one disappointment, one unanswered prayer, one person who took your kindness and called it weakness, and over time, your spirit learned to survive on drops when heaven created you to live from a river. This is where the enemy became subtle. He did not always attack you with disaster. Sometimes he attacked you with repetition. The same worry every morning, the same memory every night, the same pressure to prove you are still worthy. And because it felt familiar, you kept drinking it without asking who poured it. You were not born dry. You were not born numb. You were not born suspicious of every blessing. There was a time when your spirit recognized hope easily, and your mind could move with a clean kind of speed. You felt things before they happened, and you did not need proof to know when heaven was near. Listen closely. Some of what you call maturity is really protection. Some of what you call being realistic is really exhaustion, wearing a serious face. Some of what you call discernment is actually an old wound trying to keep you from believing again. God is not shaming you for this. He is exposing it to free you. This is why the next 42 hours matter. Heaven is not asking you to force a miracle. Heaven is asking you to interrupt the source. You cannot keep drinking worry and expect peace to taste natural. You cannot keep drinking accusation and expect your body to feel light. The cup must change. And I want to say something with complete honesty here. Later in this message, I will share more about a simple tool that may help some of you return to the state of clarity your mind has been missing. I am saying it now, not to pull you out of the message, but to keep this moment clean. Dr. Robert Lake created an audio called The Genius Song for people who feel that their original sharpness, intuition, and inner brightness have been buried under years of pressure. It is a 7-minute audio designed to be heard with headphones, using brain entrainment to support the gamma state connected with focus, flow, and spiritual alertness. If your spirit already recognizes that door, you will find it in the description and the pinned comment. But do not leave yet. The tool only makes sense when you understand what God is renewing in you, because no sound can replace obedience, and no resource can help a person who keeps returning to the cup that made them dry. Now come back to the deeper truth. The issue is not that you are broken. The issue is that your source has been mixed. You have been trying to drink living water with one hand, while holding fear with the other. You have been praying for renewal, while feeding the same thoughts that keep your spirit aged. God is not confused by your tiredness. He knows how long you carried rooms that were never assigned to you. He knows how many times you stayed quiet to keep peace. He knows how often you swallowed pain, because explaining it felt heavier than enduring it. And He knows the exact moment your inner brightness started hiding. This is the reframe. Your exhaustion is not proof that you are unchosen. It is proof that you have been pouring from a place that has not been refilled. Your delay is not proof that God ignored you. It is proof that heaven would not let you enter the next door carrying the wrong water. Because if the door opened while you were still drinking fear, you would bring fear into the blessing. If the relationship came while you were still drinking rejection, you would suspect love when it arrived. If the provision came while you were still drinking lack, you would carry poverty into abundance and call it caution. So God slowed the pace. Not because He hated you, not because you failed the test, not because heaven changed its mind. He slowed the pace because renewal had to reach the source before acceleration touched the surface. A dry vessel can be filled, but a poisoned vessel must first be cleansed. For 42 hours, you are being invited into cleansing, not the kind that makes you afraid of your body, not the kind that chases strange rules. This is the cleansing of attention. This is the cleansing of appetite. This is the cleansing of what you allow to enter your eyes, your ears, your memories, and your expectations. Some of you need to stop drinking arguments that happened years ago. Some of you need to stop drinking the tone of a parent who never blessed you correctly. Some of you need to stop drinking the silence of people who abandoned you, as if their absence is a prophecy over your future. It is not a prophecy, it is old water, and old water cannot name a new season. The one who walked away does not get to define the one God is raising up. The person who misunderstood you does not get to become the voice that narrates your destiny. Heaven has a different sound. Chosen one, you must stop calling holy withdrawal a bad mood. You must stop calling divine separation isolation. You must stop calling your need for quiet a weakness. The next 42 hours may require less noise, fewer conversations, and a stronger refusal to let every voice pour something into you. This is why you have felt strange around certain people. Your spirit can taste the cup before your mind can explain it. You can feel when a conversation leaves you heavy. You can feel when a room drains your light. You can feel when a message carries pressure instead of peace. That sensitivity is not random. That does not mean the well is gone. It means the stone must be rolled away from your attention. For the next 42 hours, God is teaching you to stop kneeling beside a covered well while drinking from a cracked cup. He is bringing your focus back to the place where life actually flows. And there is no shame in realizing that. There is only freedom. The moment you can name the cup, you can set it down. The moment you can taste the difference, you can refuse the old source. And the moment you stop drinking fear, your spirit begins to remember what peace feels like. So for these 42 hours, watch what tries to pour into you. Watch the first thought of the morning. Watch the last voice at night. Watch what you scroll when you feel lonely. Watch what you replay when you feel rejected, because the enemy does not need to destroy you if he can keep feeding you dryness. But God is interrupting the feeding cycle. Heaven is putting a clean cup in your hand. The command is not complicated. Drink what gives life, receive what restores, listen for what brings peace, refuse what ages your spirit, and let your inner atmosphere become young enough to hope again. Now, stay close, because the number 42 is not meaningless. There is a reason this window feels different. There is a reason your body has been asking for quiet. And there is a reason God often uses water, stillness, and waiting before he sends a chosen vessel into a renewed assignment. Chosen one, this is not the first time heaven has used water to reveal a deeper need. All through the sacred story, water appears when a vessel is being restored, redirected, or prepared. God does not waste symbols. When he brings you to water, he is not only touching your thirst, he is exposing your source. Think about the woman at the well. She came with a container, but Jesus addressed a hunger no container could hold. She thought she needed another ordinary drink. Heaven knew she needed living water, and that is exactly where many of you are right now. Standing beside normal routines, while your spirit is begging for something eternal. You have tried ordinary water. You have tried more sleep. You have tried silence. You have tried ignoring the ache. You have tried being positive when your body felt heavy. And still, something inside you whispered that the problem was not only physical, because the thirst was coming from a deeper place. That is why God uses the language of drinking. What you drink becomes part of you. What you receive enters you. What you keep taking in begins to shape your mood, your memory, your body, and your expectation. So when heaven says drink this, it is also saying let the right thing enter you. The wrong thing has entered long enough. Fear entered through repeated disappointment. Suspicion entered through betrayal. Exhaustion entered through overgiving. Delay entered through hope deferred. And little by little, you started living from a cup that looked familiar, even though it had no life left inside it. But God has always restored chosen vessels by changing what they receive. Elijah did not need a louder crowd when he was exhausted. He needed rest. He needed nourishment. He needed water. And after the noise, after the wind, after the shaking, he had to hear the still small voice again. Do you see the pattern? Heaven did not shame Elijah for being tired. Heaven did not call him weak. Heaven did not throw him away because his body had reached a breaking point. God restored him first, then redirected him. That means your exhaustion is not the end of your assignment. Some of you have been afraid to admit how tired you are. You think spiritual people should not feel this drained. You think chosen people should always have energy. But Elijah was chosen, and he collapsed under the weight. He was still loved. He was still called. He was still carried by heaven. That is your word. You are still called. You are still loved. You are still carried. The tiredness did not cancel the anointing on your life, and the dryness did not erase the river God placed inside you. It only revealed that your source had to be touched before your strength could return. This is why 42 hours cannot be treated like a superstition. Do not turn it into a strange rule. Do not make it a fear ritual. It is a window of attention. It is a consecrated pause. It is a holy interruption where God teaches you what to receive and what to refuse. Isaiah says, "Those who wait on the Lord will renew their strength." Notice the order. They do not renew their strength by rushing. They do not renew their strength by proving. They do not renew their strength by answering every demand. They renew it by waiting, by returning, by receiving from the right place. That is hard for you, because you are used to carrying, you are used to fixing, you are used to seeing the need before anyone asks. You can feel pain in a room before people speak it, and because of that, you often confuse compassion with responsibility. But not every burden you detect is yours to drink. Some burdens are signals, not assignments. Some emotions are information, not instructions. Some heaviness is not a command from God. It is residue from a place your spirit discerned correctly. And in this season, heaven is teaching you not to swallow every atmosphere just because you can sense it. This is where the enemy has been clever. He knows you are sensitive. He knows you are receptive. He knows you can carry more than most people. So he tried to make your gift become your drain. He tried to turn discernment into anxiety, compassion into exhaustion, and spiritual openness into a cup for every toxic voice. But heaven is correcting the flow. The same sensitivity that made you feel drained can become the sensitivity that helps you hear God again. The same deep mind that replayed pain can become the mind that receives revelation. The same body that felt heavy can become the place where peace begins to land. This is where the science becomes a small mirror of a spiritual truth. Researchers at places like Massachusetts Institute of Technology and Princeton have studied states of insight, attention, and unusual mental clarity. They cannot explain the fullness of God, but they can observe that the mind changes when it moves into higher states of rhythm and coherence. Dr. Robert Lake spent decades studying how sound can help support those states. That is why I mentioned the Genius song earlier, not as a replacement for prayer, not as a shortcut around obedience, but as a simple tool designed to support the gamma state connected with focus, flow, and awakened clarity. For a chosen person, this matters deeply. You were never meant to live permanently foggy. You were never meant to drag your mind through every decision. You were never meant to feel separated from your own discernment. There is a God-given sharpness inside you that the world tried to bury. When you were younger, you may have felt it more clearly. You sensed people. You noticed patterns. You learned quickly. You saw meanings others missed. You had moments when life felt charged with holy possibility, as if heaven was speaking through timing, dreams, numbers, and sudden inner knowing. Then life got loud. Pressure arrived. Education trained you to doubt what you could not prove. People mocked your sensitivity. Survival made you practical. Disappointment made you guarded. And slowly, the river inside you was covered by layers of noise, until you began to think the dryness was your personality. It is not your personality. It is a covered well. It is not your final condition. It is a blocked flow. It is not age stealing your light. It is the wrong source training your system to expect heaviness. And God is pulling the stone away from the well again. This is why scripture and wisdom keep pointing to the same rhythm. Return, wait, receive, drink from what gives life. Refuse what corrupts the inner vessel. Let the mind be renewed. Let the spirit be washed. Let the old taste lose power. Let the true source become familiar again. Do not rush past that word. Familiar. Fear became familiar. Delay became familiar. Being misunderstood became familiar. Always being needed became familiar. So peace may feel strange at first. Rest may feel suspicious. Quiet may feel empty. But sometimes what feels unfamiliar is simply the life you were deprived of for too long. The first sign of renewal may not be a dramatic miracle. It may be one clean breath. It may be one morning without the same heaviness. It may be one moment where you do not answer the old voice. It may be one decision made from peace instead of panic. That is why you must not measure the next 42 hours by fireworks. Measure them by source. What did you let enter? What did you refuse? What did you stop replaying? What did you stop swallowing? What did you give back to God instead of letting it become water in your inner world? Because this is the false summit. Many people think the goal is to feel young again, energized again, excited again, and untouched by pain. But heaven is not merely trying to make you feel better. Heaven is teaching you to stop feeding from what made you sick in the first place. The miracle is not only that strength comes back. The miracle is that you learn what stole it. The miracle is not only that your mind clears. The miracle is that you finally recognize the voices that kept fog inside you. The miracle is not only that peace returns, the miracle is that dryness loses access. Chosen one, this is the part many people miss. God can bring you to a river, but He will not force you to stop sipping fear from your own hands. He can send the well. He can send the word. He can send the tool, but your agreement decides what you keep drinking. So let this become serious now. Not fearful, serious. The next 42 hours are not about pretending. They are not about looking spiritual. They are not about proving anything to people who cannot even recognize your thirst. They are about changing the source before the source changes your next season. And now we are coming to the hidden blocker. This is the part your old self may resist, because not every cup that aged you looked dark. Some cups looked responsible, some cups looked familiar, some cups even looked loving. But if it kept you dry, heavy, foggy, afraid, and far from peace, then heaven is about to name it. Stay with me. Do not pull away now, because in the next part, I have to say the truth plainly. Not everything you have been drinking is water. Some of it was fear with a clean label, pain with a familiar face, and poison poured from memories you kept calling wisdom. Chosen one, now we have reached the part your old self may try to resist. Not everything you have been drinking is water. Some of it looked like responsibility. Some of it sounded like wisdom. Some of it came from people you loved, while your spirit knew it was making you dry. You called it being careful. You called it staying prepared. You called it learning from the past. But beneath those names, fear kept pouring itself into your inner world. It aged your hope. It slowed your decisions. It made your body brace for pain that had not even arrived yet. This is the hidden blocker. You asked God for renewal, but you kept drinking the same thoughts that made renewal feel impossible. You asked for peace, but every morning you returned to the cup of what if. You asked for clarity, but every night you swallowed another replay of who hurt you. Heaven is not condemning you. Heaven is confronting the pattern. Condemnation says you are the problem. Conviction says the cup is the problem, and God loves you enough to take it out of your hand before it poisons another season. For 42 hours, you are being called to stop drinking what trained you to expect loss. Stop drinking rejection. Stop drinking delay. Stop drinking old labels. Stop drinking the memory of rooms where you were tolerated but never truly received. Your spirit did not become old because you lived many years. Your spirit became tired because it kept receiving what God never meant to become daily nourishment. A person can survive on fear for a while, but a chosen vessel cannot carry fresh oil while drinking stale pain. This is why God interrupted you. He interrupted you because the next door requires a renewed inner atmosphere. The blessing cannot feel safe to a mind that still expects punishment. The answer cannot feel real to a heart still drinking unbelief. So let the truth land gently. You are not late. You are not finished. You are not too old in the spirit to begin again. The part of you that feels buried is not dead. It is waiting for the old source to lose permission. Take a slow breath. Put your attention back in your body. Let your shoulders soften. You do not have to defend the old cup anymore. You do not have to keep proving that the pain was real by drinking from it every day. Now, I want to return to what I mentioned earlier. Once you understand that the source must change, you also understand why a tool for renewal can matter. I spoke briefly about the Genius song, and now I need to explain why it belongs inside this message. The Genius song is a 7-minute digital audio created by Dr. Robert Lake, a neuroscience researcher with 34 years of experience studying the mind, attention, and brain rhythm. It is designed to be heard through headphones as a focused support for the inner state many chosen people have lost. The principle behind it is called brain entrainment. Sound patterns can help guide the brain towards specific rhythms. In this case, the focus is gamma, the higher brainwave state often linked with clarity, insight, flow, and those moments where a person knows before logic catches up. Researchers at Massachusetts Institute of Technology Princeton, Harvard, and other leading research universities have studied attention, coherence, and states of unusual mental performance. Science cannot contain God. It cannot measure the mystery of your calling. But it can point towards something your spirit already knows. You were not created to live foggy. You were not created to drag every decision through mud. You were not created to lose the sharpness you once carried. Many chosen ones had unusual sensitivity early in life, but the noise of the world trained their system to operate beneath its original design. This is why the Genius song fits this message. It is not trying to make you someone else. It is meant to support the return of what was already placed in you. The clarity, the intuition, the inner brightness, the ability to enter flow without fighting your own mind. There is a woman who reminds me of this. She was 47, managing a team in finance, and for the first 18 days, she thought nothing dramatic was happening. But by the 34th day, she realized she was sleeping deeper, deciding faster, and no longer feeling trapped at work. Renewal is not always fireworks. Sometimes it is quiet. Sometimes it arrives as a clean decision. Sometimes it arrives as a morning where your body does not feel like it is carrying yesterday. Sometimes the first miracle is the absence of heaviness. The way it works is simple. You put on headphones. You listen for 7 minutes. You do not need a complicated meditation routine. You do not need to repeat a mantra. You simply give your mind a structured sound environment and let your system respond. Most people spend far more trying to reach peace. A meditation app can cost around $15 every month. An online growth course may cost $100 to $200. A weekend retreat can reach $400 to $800. One therapy session can be around $150. Many paths do not focus directly on gamma. Dr. Lake compressed his work into one 7-minute audio. The original price is $49, but for viewers here, it is $39 once. You also receive $80 in free bonuses with it. There is Genius Child, valued at $19. There is a classic book, valued at $20. There is a guided visualization valued at $29. And there is a 5-habit infographic valued at $12. Together, the bonuses carry $80 in value, while the main audio and everything with it are available here for $39. More than 18,366 people have used the Genius song, and the refund rate is under 4%. There is also a 90-day guarantee. If you use it and feel it is not for you, you can ask for a full refund. No complicated return is needed because it is digital. You still keep all 4 bonuses, the full $80 in bonuses, as respect for the time you gave it. I also need to protect you here. There are imitation pages and copycat audios using the name Genius Song. Some are just ordinary sounds with no real brain entrainment technology. Do not search for it on random platforms. The original access is through the link in the description and the pinned comment. Now pause for a moment. Place one hand over your chest. Breathe slowly. This is not a decision about $39. This is a decision about whether you still believe the God-given clarity inside you can return, and whether you are ready to stop drinking from the source that kept it buried. If your answer is yes, your spirit already knows the next step. The correct door is in the description and the pinned comment. Do not move from pressure, move from recognition. Let this be part of your 42-hour renewal, a simple tool placed beside obedience, stillness, and living water. But do not leave the message yet. The tool can support your mind, but your agreement must seal the window. In the final part, we will close these 42 hours with a sacred declaration, and you need to speak it as someone who will never drink fear as water again. Chosen one, now we seal what heaven has opened. Do not rush this ending. Do not treat these final words as background noise. Your spirit has heard too much truth to return casually to the old cup. Because the next 42 hours are not about drama, they are about agreement. You are choosing what gets to enter you, So begin here. Every time you drink clean water in these 42 hours, let it remind you of living water. Do not make it strange. Do not make it fearful. Let it be simple and holy. As the water touches your mouth, remember that your soul is no longer available to drink fear, rejection, accusation, or delay. This is not a body punishment. This is not a harsh ritual. This is not about proving your devotion through pain. God is not asking you to damage what He created. He is asking you to guard the gates of your attention, because what enters your eyes, ears, and thoughts will try to become your inner water. For these 42 hours, refuse the cup of panic in the morning. Refuse the cup of doom at night. Refuse the cup of old conversations that keep replaying in your mind. And when the old feeling rises again, do not fight it like an enemy. Simply hand it back to God and choose peace. You may need less noise. You may need fewer replies. You may need to let the phone rest before your spirit gets pulled into another current. Not everyone deserves access to your first breath, and not every message deserves a place at the well of your inner life. If you choose to use the genius song, let it be simple. Put on headphones. Sit still for 7 minutes. Let your body soften. Let your mind stop performing. Do not strain for a sign, because sometimes renewal begins quietly while your nervous system learns that safety is allowed again. And if you do not use the tool today, still obey the message. Return to living water. Return to stillness. Return to the voice of God before the voice of the world. The tool can support your mind, but obedience is still the doorway, and heaven is looking for your yes. Over these 42 hours, watch what changes first. It may not be lightning. It may not be a loud sign. It may be a softer chest. It may be one clean thought. It may be the moment you notice that the old fear knocked, but you did not open the door. That is renewal. Do not measure this by the reaction of other people. Some will not understand why you are quieter. Some will not know why you are not answering every pull. That is fine. A vessel being refilled does not owe everyone an explanation for leaving the noise outside the room. Do not despise quiet beginnings. A river does not need to shout to be real. A seed does not need applause to be alive. The most holy changes often begin beneath the surface, where no one can praise you, question you, or interrupt what God is forming. If tears come, let them come. They are not weakness. They may be the first clean water your soul has released in a long time. Sometimes the body weeps when it realizes it no longer has to carry the same burden in the same way. Some of you will feel peace before you feel excitement. Some of you will feel tired before you feel strong, because your body is finally allowed to stop pretending. Let that be okay. Rest is not failure. Silence is not emptiness. Quiet can be the womb where a new season begins. Now place your hand over your heart if you can. Breathe slowly. Let your body know that the war inside you is ending. You are not drinking from fear anymore. You are not feeding on rejection anymore. You are not rehearsing the old verdict anymore. Heaven is giving you a clean cup. Say this with me. I stop drinking from fear. I stop drinking from the memory of rejection. I stop drinking from the voice that said I was too late. I stop drinking from the pain that tried to become my identity. I release every false cup from my hands. Say it again, slowly. I receive living water. I receive renewal in my mind. I receive renewal in my spirit. I receive renewal in my body. According to the will of God, I receive clarity, peace, discernment, and holy strength for the assignment ahead of me. I am not old in my spirit. I am not finished. I am not forgotten. I am not behind heaven. My source is changing, and my inner life is being restored. The light God placed in me is not dead. It is rising again with wisdom, purity, and power. Every voice that fed me fear loses access. Every memory that poured poison into my thoughts loses authority. Every false identity that made me feel dry, heavy, and unworthy is broken from my agreement. I belong to living water. I belong to the voice of God. I belong to renewal. For the next 42 hours, I guard my gates. I guard my eyes. I guard my ears. I guard my mouth. I guard my first thought in the morning and my final thought at night. I will not call dryness normal anymore. I will not call heaviness my home. Let every old cup fall. Let every polluted source be exposed. Let every hidden drain be sealed. Let every stolen part of my attention return to God. Let my mind become clear again, my spirit become fresh again, and my body learn the language of peace again. Chosen one, if those words touched you, do not leave them floating. Type, I receive renewal. Let your comment become a witness that you heard the instruction, not for performance, not for attention, but as a sign that you are no longer agreeing with the source that drained you. And if this message found you at the exact moment you needed it, subscribe and stay connected. There are instructions that come in sequence, and sometimes heaven uses one message to prepare you for the next. Do not make yourself hard to reach when God is teaching you how to hear again. If you know the Genius song is part of your next step, the original access is in the description and the pinned comment. Use the correct link there, not random searches. Move from recognition, not pressure. Let it serve your 7-minute stillness while God renews what noise tried to bury. This is your instruction. Drink clean water with gratitude. Speak clean words over your life. Let clean sound enter your mind. Let clean silence cover your evening. And if an old source tries to call your name, do not answer like a servant. Answer like someone who has been set apart. Now carry this gently. For the next 42 hours, drink from what gives life. Listen to what restores peace. Refuse what makes your spirit old. And when the enemy offers you the familiar cup again, look at it with clear eyes and say, not anymore. You are not returning to the old water. You are not aging under the same fear. You are not dragging yesterday into the new door. Heaven has interrupted the cycle, and your agreement has sealed the shift. Drink living water, chosen one, and watch what God renews in you.